news, everyone.
I'm back, baby.
It's Jake Ciely.
I'm great. Everybody else sucks.
Oh,
no. It's every nightmare I've ever had.
Excuse me?
It's time to check the link.
Pretty crazy, huh? But it doesn't matter because none of this has anything to do with the show.
You know what? You just made the list!
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
It's all in football.
Sure, we talk about it all the time. Really? No.
What is up, you ducks? It's All in Football live on FTN. If you want to get 20% off, code ALLIN at FTN. Get you 20% off. Where Lauren is now, doing full-time job thingies at Stepmom Lauren. Also, over at The Athletic, click on the rankings or the projection sheets or any of those things, and you get $1 a month. I'm pretty sure it's all in the areas right now. They're bringing back the $1 a month thing, so $12 for the entire year of all the great stuff at The Athletic, and then me. So that's not even about me. It's not even about Lauren, who has a little bit of a man voice, as she said, because she spent this weekend at the Fantasy Football Expo. Week before was the Flex. So a lot of traveling, a lot of stuff going on in the fantasy football industry. But we're talking week one of the preseason, Lauren. It's week one. There's so many things we could take away. We dipped our toes into it yesterday after I went on a little rant. I don't know if you saw that. But, reminder, because tomorrow I got to give away another T-shirt. So ooh. I think some people missed the rules.
Yes, you do need to clarify this again.
I thought it was pretty clear, but I'm getting emails. No, the only people that should be emailing me are the two winners so far, and I've gotten both of those winners so far. You don't email to enter. You don't chat during the show, which please do, because we've answered questions before, as Brett and Albert are already in, as they are. One of the most loyal, two of the most loyal people. So put it in after. So once it posts on YouTube, so basically once the show's done, if you're watching this on Game Plus, hi Canada, you can go on YouTube right now. Post in the comments, anything. You can just ask a question. I'll answer your fantasy question. You can say, congratulations on the engagement. I'm still celebrating it. I'm going to celebrate it for the rest of the year. I don't care. Screw you guys, whatever. It took forever. I'm going to celebrate it as long as I want to. You can say that. You can say, this is a comment. I don't really care, but that's all it takes. And it's a random winner. I'll announce it tomorrow. So it's basically the weeks of comments tomorrow, Wednesdays. I announce them with Chris. Or maybe 1 week I'll do it with you too, so you can celebrate. Yay, a winner.
Yay.
Anything you're celebrating from this weekend besides the fact that everybody loved your husband?
Yeah, but I'm celebrating that I know my name now because you have it right here. So I'm so brain fried from this weekend, but it was an absolutely wonderful event. That's why I sound like this, because I completely lost my voice. By Sunday, I was on 3 different panels, for the expo version of it. And
so you're making sure it didn't say stepdad, Lauren? Is that what
I was hoping to, just something. Just give me a clue. I'll figure it out, I suppose. But yeah, I'm celebrating the fact that it was such a great success. And everyone is just so incredibly kind. We had a wonderful women's panel that we did at 11:30. Shout out to Bob Long for setting that up for us. And the turnout we got from it was amazing. It was standing room only in our room. It was super cool. So that was awesome. Meeting a bunch of women in this industry was really neat. Just wonderful people all around. It was a good time. And I got to be in the King's Classic. Thanks, Mike Clay, for not, getting your flight canceled on accident. Not your fault. You didn't do it on purpose. But thanks for not being there so that I could sit in. That was fun.
Is that what it is? So thanks for getting your flight canceled. Is that what you just said?
See, I told you I barely even know my own name. Don't judge my English right now. It's not good.
All right. Anyway, let's continue. As we're talking week one of the preseason, but some of the stuff is news, as you've seen. We didn't talk the early games from last week. And I want to talk, should we talk Giants side or Patriots side? There's actually both, and it's not really from that game. Do you want to talk, which side do you want to start with? Patriots or
Patriots.
Giants?
Let's go Patriots.
All right, we're starting Giants. On the Giants side of it, Daniel Jones can't complete anything in practice. Still, Brian Dable was supposed to fix everything. Everything. He's the genius that fixed Josh Allen. And he was supposed to come over, and everybody's celebrating and ignoring Saquon Barkley being healthy, and the fact that the offensive line is supposed to be better. But Daniel Jones still not a great connection with Kenny Golladay, which we talked about back when that signing happened last year on this very show, and said that not a good fit. But anyway, Kadarius Toney, Wandale Robinson, they drafted. Sterling Shepard's not out there because he's hurt again. But he's got options, and he's just not connecting with anything because whatever you believe about Daniel Jones, I don't think he's a very good quarterback. But there is hope. There is a couple years ago, you and I, when we met, we had a discussion about Daniel Jones. And I'm not coming for you with saying that. But hearing that we're now past week one of the preseason, Lauren, You've had the entire offseason. Granted, it is a new system, and there was a lot of talk. For everybody out there, I want to make a comparison real quick. Eli Manning, when they changed offensive coordinators and playbooks, he struggled the first 4 or 5 games that year and then connected later on, and admittedly said that even somebody like a veteran like him, it takes some time before he can really So are you trying to give a pass for Daniel Jones? Are you trying to hold out hope for Tony or Galladay or even Daniel Jones in a super flex? Like, is there any hope here? Or like, at what point should we legitimately start to get concerned about the entire offense?
I think we should have been concerned last year. So I'm holding out zero hope. This does not surprise me at all. Like, this is not shocking. And just for anyone who doesn't know, the original conversation we had about the Kenny Galladay and the Daniel Jones is, I don't think Daniel Jones is a good NFL quarterback. I don't think that he is. He's terrible in fantasy. It's just how it is. It's what I've seen. That's the product we have on the field. But one of the things that Kenny Galladay is very good at doing is the contested catches. And one of the things that Daniel Jones is very good at doing is throwing contested catches. So I thought that could have been a match made in heaven. It was not, because Kenny Galladay wasn't on the field all that often, and Daniel Jones just did Daniel Jones things. So I'm already past that. I don't mind Kadarius Toney, though, because there does have to be a point where you can't just pass up on him, especially in a draft. He doesn't, he's not going to be your wide receiver 1. Hopefully not your wide receiver 2. But that's an option, I think. Oh, yeah. We were going to go down there, but I don't know how much time we have to go through the different wide receivers that we're talking about here. But yeah, I don't mind Kadarius Toney, but I'm not excited about anything from this offense, except for Saquon Barkley.
Except for Saquon Barkley, as Barkley thought I was calling her. Now she's walking back. Oh, wait.
Oh,
turn back around.
baby.
Come here, Barkley. Come here. You can say hi to everybody since we're talking about you. Barkley. Up. There you go.
Oh.
There you go. Say hi, Barkley.
Hi, Barkley.
Yep. She gets confused. She gets confused when she hears her name.
Well, she knows her name, so I get it.
I wasn't even thinking about the fact that like we'd be saying his name that much on the show. So. On the other side of things, and Brett Thunderstruck is not banned from asking questions. He's banned from asking multiple questions, because if I ever do answer one of your questions, it involves the intro for your question. That's why. Then there's not going to be multiple.
Hi, Brett.
You said, you real quick. Actually, you know what? That's a good question by Mr. Nice Guy. I'm not. So the question is, would you push Saquon down a few spots? I still have him as a fringe first rounder. I still have him as a top 10 running back. There was a report right before we came on the show.
Yep.
This is Tuesday, 11 a.m., that he is going to be fed enormous. Like he's getting Christian McCaffrey workload as long as he's healthy. And if you look at that depth chart, Breida, Brightwell, both of them, I think, on the sideline today. Again, this being Tuesday, Tuesday the 16th. So whenever you're watching in your area, that's the truth here. But we're talking about, we know that we knew he was going to be getting that kind of workload. So does this say, you know what, maybe the touchdowns won't be there, I'm going to be a little bit concerned? Or is it, hey, you know what, how many running backs are going to get 300 plus touches?
Oh, I have no concern for Saquon at all. I'm not pushing him down because of this news. If anything, this just solidifies exactly where he should be going. And I don't mind if you want to reach for him a little bit earlier than that. I really like his outlook. Whatever, he can fall into the end zone. Okay. That's it. Plus, like, what other options are there? It's going to be Saquon Barkley. Yes. So hopefully all of these wonderful things we've been hearing about the offensive line come true, and it'll be even better. Yeah, no, I'm not worried about Barkley.
I did Chris Harris's pod for today last night. We recorded last night for today, and we both had the same sentiment. I said it either to you or Chris on this show. It's like, you cannot sit here and say, if you want to be out on McCaffrey, fine. If you want to be out on Henry, fine. If you want to be out on Dalvin Cook because he's never played a full season, fine. If you want to be out on Barkley, fine. But you can't sit here and say, I'm okay with Christian McCaffrey at 102. I'm okay with Derrick Henry at 103, but I'm out on Saquon Barkley because of the injuries. They're all in the same boat. Like, you can't pick the boat that, like, it's one boat.
Yeah, and last year, a lot of people forget too, with Barkley last year, there was a freak accident with his ankle. Like, literally with his ankle. I swear I speak English. It's so bad. This is why I'm glad I have a name tag. But it was a freak accident. He stepped on a person's foot or something that happened, and then like rolled his ankle. It wasn't because he, didn't prepare well or overweight. No, that was a total accident. And he is upset about it. And so he's coming into this season with a huge chip on his shoulder. And I'm excited to see that. It's going to be good.
I think it'd be a bigger chip if it was on his thigh. That's where you should put it. Like, that's what
I know, the Saquon Barkley. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be a giant.
Actually, the chip might be just tiny. It'd be like diminished and dwarfed if it were on his thigh. It needs to be like,
it needs to be a bigger chip so you could see it. That's why I was upgrading the size of the chip.
I get it now. I told you it's going to take me a while today.
On the Patriots side, so we already saw some use with Stevenson, James White, is done. He retired. So there was talk of Pierre Strong, who they drafted. Pierre Strong was kind of out the window already heading into that preseason one game, according to reports. Still could find his way into the mix. But Ty Montgomery was the popular name thrown around this time last week, and that, hey, he's been used in that role. But the thing that keeps circling back around is Rhamondre Stevenson is getting passing game work. Rhamondre Stevenson is getting basically 50-50 split work, similar to what the Broncos were last year. Rhamondre Stevenson today, stepmom Lauren, by Belichick's own mouth, looks good in pass protection. Where are we going with Stevenson? I know you shouldn't do this. This is a 101 for everybody out there. If you're getting into this industry, and you're not supposed to shotgun questions, because what happens is the person will leave out one of the answers.
I just smile and nod when that happens. I'm like, or I'm like, no,
this is shotgun. This is double barrel. This is hey, if everybody
it's still a shotgun.
No, because I was gonna do, if everybody saw the Better Call Saul finale, I'm doing the bang bang. So like,
okay.
Goodbye, Better Call Saul. Good finale. Anyway, so bang bang. You can handle that. It's not shotgun.
I already forgot what you asked.
I haven't asked it yet. That's why.
Okay, good. Yes. Score.
Should Stevenson or Damian Harris go higher in drafts? And then the second part, bang one, bang two, is that does it really even matter that much? And maybe we should just take the better ADP because they will be like the Broncos and both top 25 options this year.
Is it possible to answer yes to both of those questions? So I don't have any problem with Damian Harris and Rhamondre Stevenson going a little bit higher. I think with the James White news, yes, that does kind of automatically put Rhamondre Stevenson a little bit higher. A lot of people had been talking, especially this weekend. I talked to several people and they're like, we were so excited about him because he was going so much lower. Now he's kind of rising in ADP. I think he deserves that. And oh shoot, I already forgot. I got yes to both of your questions, but I think I answered both of them. Yeah,
you did. You said they both could have value and that Stevenson could go.
Yeah.
Did you get any sleep when you got back, or were you just like?
Oh God, started traveling at literally 4:30 in the morning. So there was like semi-napping sort of in the plane, and like it was really bad. Like it was a super fun but rough weekend. But there was a lot of talking, and then when there's a lot of people in one room, your voice gets higher and higher and higher, and for like extended periods of time, I'm talking like 3 days of this, it just goes, and then your mind goes, and I'm like, are my brains coming out of my ears because I can't think? And I had to like answer questions, and so hopefully I didn't sound like a total idiot.
So yes and yes. Jim, we're getting to your question as we go through this. So quick version on the other game. This is going way back because this is the Thursday games. Baltimore, Tennessee. Nothing really of note from Baltimore. We've been monitoring the J.K. Dobbins news. Continue there. The interesting, real quick version on the Tennessee side is that it looks like Hassan Haskins, the rookie, is actually behind Dontrell Hilliard still as of today. Do you care who the backup is? And is it Hilliard in your opinion as of today? Or do you just, I don't even care, it's Derrick Henry, and it's probably going to be nothing even close to Derrick Henry, as we all know, if anything were to happen, so don't care.
I just have this fear like we saw last year that we're going to all think we know who the backup is. And then suddenly it's the other guy and everyone's running to the waiver wire and spending all their fat. I don't know. It could be. So do I care? Yeah. Am I going to try to draft one of those guys? No, because I don't know who it's going to be. And by the time we get to a place where hopefully this does not happen, we never want to wish injuries, but let's say hypothetically, Derrick Henry does get hurt, wear and tear maybe towards the end of the season, we're going to have a better idea of who that is. And whoever it was on anyone's roster, either one of those guys is likely going to be dropped already and on the waiver wire.
Okay, so then let's go to this backfield and let's go to Buffalo because...
Oh, God, why?
Well, see, thank you. I'm glad you had that response because I feel like this is the definition of insanity coming from the Bills, not even the fantasy community, because they're trying to do Zach Moss again. We're trying this again. Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, James Cook all got work with ones and some of the second-team units out there. Again, I've been the one that says being with the ones doesn't mean anything for like a depth chart. It means you're being evaluated, but they're still evaluating Zach Moss. They're still trying to see if they have something left. I was already out on this backfield when it was just Singletary and Cook.
Yep.
Because it's Josh Allen and Singletary and Cook. The reason we got Singletary value is because finally there was nobody left. Like they had been done with Zach Moss. Everybody else got hurt, and they finally gave him bell cow work. I just don't see that happening this year, especially when you drafted James Cook. With these three, it sounds like you're like, why? Like me. Like I have Singletary and Cook in the 30s, and people are calling me crazy. I'm like, no, I don't want anything in this backfield.
No, and that's one of the biggest mysteries to me this season is not everyone, most people that I talk to are in love with Devin Singletary. They're like, look what he did the last 4 weeks. Look what he did in the postseason. I'm like, look what he did up to that point. And even then, he still finished as an RB20 and half PPR scoring. And if he's going to have this huge role like he did the last literally like 4 to 5 weeks of the season. In fact, I think the very start of that, he finished as an RB16. Then he hopped up and started getting better numbers. So that I think would be 6 weeks or 5 weeks as opposed to the 4 weeks. But if they had all this confidence in him and, they want to keep Josh Allen, protected, they're going to give all the work to Devin Singletary. Why did they spend second round draft capital on James Cook? Nothing about this offense, nothing about the decisions that have been made, and nothing about what we've seen so far has said that Devin Singletary is going to be a bell cow. That's just not how it is. And again, just like you said, they're going back to Zach Moss. They want to keep Devin Singletary healthy, which makes sense. And again, his best season so far. Yes, career year, well done, RB20. All right. And his quarterback literally was just behind him in rush attempts, rushing yards, and he had 1 fewer rushing touchdown. I don't see that drastically changing. A little bit, yes, because they do want to keep Josh Allen healthy. I understand. But that does not a bell cow make. So don't get it. I've never understood it. That's why I'm saying as far away from the Buffalo backfield as humanly possible. No, thank you.
So on the other side of that game, the Indianapolis Colts, not a ton to talk about there either, except for, let me ask you this, Lauren. What are the odds we have Treylon Burks, who's battling Westbrook-Akina to be the number 2, should be the number 2, like that's early stuff, but still has Robert Woods that we love on this show. We love some Robert Woods, but Drake London, who is going to be the 1 and 2 with Kyle Pitts. He's a little banged up right now. And then others like Jameson Williams, going to probably start, maybe if not 100%, even basically injuries to concern to start the season. George Pickens, like, so I mentioned, and there's other rookie wide receivers that didn't even talk about, Sky Moore and all that type of stuff. But what are the odds, in your opinion, that could Alec Pierce end up being the best rookie wide receiver from a fantasy perspective in year 1 with Matt Ryan as the number 2 and putting Paris Campbell in the slot?
Oh, that is a really good question. And I think that there is a possibility that he could be, but I don't necessarily buy it. If anyone knows me and they follow me at all, thank you. If you don't, what are you doing? But I'm not a huge fan. What? Yeah, I do. I don't hate them. I don't hate them. That's egregious, Jake. I just don't have a lot of faith in it. But that's one that I could see. But I still think it's going to be Pittman and Campbell before it's going to be that. I don't know. I could see it. I wouldn't be surprised, but am I looking forward to that? Sure. If someone picks him up super late and they're like, he's my dude, I'm like, good for you. You did a good job. I'm glad I didn't have to deal with it.
But you're not taking Alec Pierce in 10th, 11th round?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
We'll have to ask Chris that. I am team Alec Pierce.
Everyone gets so excited about rookie wide receivers, and I just never have. So I need to see you on the field. That's it. Yes, I missed out on the Justin Jeffersons.
You're picking up all the wrong ones.
Jamar Chases. Yeah, I don't pick up any. So it doesn't matter. Like, I just find out who did really well, and I know who to target next year.
Go pick up Wan'Dale Robinson. There you go.
Please, no.
Why don't you be the leading Giants wide receiver with like 600 yards?
I would not. That one would not surprise me because of how crazy that offense is. 600 yards.
Another Wookiee on this show.
The Wookiees.
Ken Walker. So there was no Rashad Penny because he's banged up right now.
Shocking.
And I know, but look. Rashad Penny was healthy last year. Rashad Penny finally happened. We were all excited.
Yes, he did.
Especially, yes.
He did.
Everybody's congratulations, Jake. I was like, it's not like I kind of like
do your victory
like my
lap.
dating life. No, like my dating life. I had kind of given up hope at that point. I was kind of like, oh, cool, it finally happened with Rashad Penny. Like, see, there you go. It was unexpected. Like, you okay over there? She took it down the wrong pipe. I hope everybody's watching videos so you can see Lauren choking off screen.
I was not expecting you to compare your dating life to Rashad Penny's health. Okay, that was wow. Golf clap. That was amazing.
It's true. But Ken Walker
had given up hope.
I really had. Ken Walker was out there on passing downs because Rashad Penny wasn't. there's been the struggles throughout college. I've sat here and said Ken Walker looked awful at times in college and like turns the wrong way, but they get him some opportunities. Pete Carroll, not exactly the most truthful person with his running backs, but as said, he can see 3-down work for Ken Walker. Whatever that might be, we know Penny's going to be involved to a degree. Is Ken Walker or Rashad Penny the better pick for this running back backfield? Because they're going very close.
Yeah. I normally in a situation when it comes to the possibility of a committee backfield or the promise of a committee backfield, I generally will tend to go with the quote RB2, if you will, because I feel that they have some better value. But when it comes to the Seahawks and anything that Pete Carroll says, I never believe him. Like no matter what, he comes out, even if he like came and told me I was a super lovely, nice person, I'd be like, why do you hate me? Like, I just don't believe anything that Pete Carroll
I
says.
could be on that depth chart and he'd be like, oh, Jake's going to be an amazing running back for this.
I know.
year.
So
like,
for me,
no,
I'm going to go with the known commodity here. I'm going to go and hopefully like, let's just assume that he will be healthy to start the season. So given that assumption, I'm going to go with Rashad Penny here. And I need that known commodity. I need to know that I've got that guy that I know they're going to use. Because when it comes to the other moving pieces in this offense and all of the different things that they're going to have to do with, I'm sorry, I'm a Missouri girl, but you know, what can you do with that quarterback situation? So for me, the two viable options here are going to be DK Metcalf, obviously, and I'll take Rashad Penny over Ken Walker.
Okay. Because of the passing work or just because, like you said,
because of the necessity of the run that's going to just have to happen just because like that's I think where the touchdowns are going to be coming from is from the run game as opposed to, you know, long bombs and accurate passing from Geno Smith or Drew Lock. So I'm going to go with volume.
Yeah,
He's serviceable. There's nothing wrong with that.
Drew Lock
but I'm going to
destroys the running game because he's so many 3 and outs as we saw.
Yes, I know. I know. I'm well aware. So we don't know who's really going to be doing it here. So
trying to take more digs at Drew Lock.
Don't bother. Like I've given up hope. Like your dating life, I've given up hope that he's going to be good in the NFL. So it's okay. I'll still love him dearly.
Dating life, that's over. Like we don't have to worry about hope anymore.
I know everything is good. See, like there you go. Yeah, I'm not thrilled, but the Rashad Penny is because of I believe there's going to be some guaranteed volume there, but out of necessity, and I also believe that he has a higher opportunity for touchdowns. We never like to assume that. We don't want to, guarantee any of that because touchdowns are very finicky, but that's kind of where my gut tells me it's going to go.
Okay, so over to the Tampa Bay Miami game. Not a ton there in that game, but the interesting thing here's your opportunity.
Was Tom Brady there?
No, oh no, he doesn't have to show up.
He doesn't have to stop freaking out, people. It's fine.
He go to do his own vacation in the middle of preseason.
Let him go spa for 2 weeks, and he's gonna come back and still be Tom Brady.
At least Romo and Beckham did it on a weekend, like while they had time off, or like the beginning of the week before the practices started. Like they were doing it during the actual time. He's just doing it during the preseason because he's Tom Brady.
Because he can.
Now look, Lauren, you get to duck poo all over a running back because Rachaad White was everybody's favorite because what happens if something happens to Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White. But right now, at least through one game, Gio looks to be the backup and Rachaad White's behind him.
Did we all forget about Giovanni Bernard? Like, did we all just forget that he exists in the world?
Did we forget that he's like 20 plus touches is not coming for Gio if Leonard Fournette dies or gets hurt? I don't want to
And that's the thing. Everyone was obsessed with White coming into this, and I'm like, wait, no. This is it is what it is. Everything could ever change immediately, but no, it's Gio, guys. If anything happens to Leonard Fournette, it's gonna be Gio.
Okay, well then, how about on Miami side? Speaking of being dead for fantasy purposes, I buried him a long time ago. It seems everybody's starting to realize this and come around and seeing that Gesicki, because of practice reports and then usage in the game. Guess what? When you brought in 2 guys who spend time in the slot and are great dynamic weapons, and you ask a tight end who's not made to fit in the inline tight end spot, it's like asking Evan Ingram to do that. It's like asking Brevin Jordan to do that, just not who they are, that's what we don't want that for fantasy anyway, because guess what? That means you're not running routes. It also means you're not out there catching passes. It also means Gesicki for fantasy purposes is dead. Seems everybody's starting to come around on that. Are you on that? Or were you already on that? And should we just move on from Gesicki? I just talked with Pat yesterday, and I said, I'd take Robert Tonyan. I don't want Robert Tonyan. But I take Robert Tonyan over Gesicki at this point because at least he could catch 10 touchdowns.
I still have a modicum of hope for Gesicki with the way that I think this offense is trying to figure themselves out. I don't love it, and I don't like the way that we kind of have seen things going, because exactly like you said, if you're not running routes, you're not getting passes. That kind of defeats the purpose of starting you in fantasy football. But like you said, this is still week one. I think they're just kind of feeling themselves out right now and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and what's going to work best for Tua. What works best for their quarterback, and having quick, viable options that can be available to him so he does not get smashed every single game is going to be the way to go. Still have some hope. Am I concerned? Yes, but I think we have all been concerned about this moving forward. No, he's not going to be the next George Kittle. Like, just get over that. But I still think he could have some value if they figure out what this offense is going to do. He's going late, though. In drafts that I've seen, he's going later. So if you're in a 3 flex whatever, and why not? He can be on your bench, and then if he does well, stick him in there.
No, Brevin Jordan, I'm telling you. Get the one
Sure.
who's the number two. He's the number 2 on the Texans passing game. So there you go. That's all. Like, I want number 2 tight ends. I don't want number 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s. And so
yeah, we'll see. I'm not 100% convinced. I haven't buried him yet. Let's put it that way.
Jordan versus Gesicki. You want to make that bet?
Let's do it.
Okay, there you go. Jordan versus Gesicki for 2022. There you go.
Let's do it. I do like
Houston,
Brevin Jordan too, though. So I
Speaking
see
of Jordan and Gesicki, we're Houston Texans. Perfect transition over to that game with the Saints. Not much from the Saints. Like Kamara sounds like not happening suspension wise. We've kind of talked about that. We didn't really get to see anything because a lot of Michael Thomas, Olave, and Landry, not a ton of them out there, and then Jameis Winston. So all that. Really not much. Second, third game for the Saints. On the Houston side, so the wide receivers. Do you have any interest? Collins versus Connolly, like Nico Collins' second year deep play. Connolly was out there a little bit more. Connolly's been around. By the way, you want to look at a depth chart, which is kind of like the also-rans of wide receiver 4s that all kind of came to one team. Like, look at the Houston Texans depth
Just
chart.
look at the Texans.
Chris Moore, Philip. They're like, it's just kind of like, oh, like, hey, that's what it's the Houston. Hey, I remember that guy. That's what they should be called.
I love that. That's exactly what it is. No interest. None.
Okay. All right. So then I do want to try and see if I can get you positively on a rookie, because
oh boy,
this one. Well, no, look, I said Dameon Pierce. You pushed back on Dameon Pierce initially because you don't like rookies, but I've been like Dameon Pierce, and now I'm gonna have to find somebody new because my bandwagon, like, I'm starting to like I have to add a trailer back here, get like another 18-wheeler to the hitch because everybody's jumping on board. Which, please, come to the party. Enjoy the Dameon Pierce excitement. Should have been here last month when you could have drafted early. Are you on board, Lauren? Are you jumping on with the Dameon Pierce? Because look good, got the work. Marlon Mack, throughout his career, has been kind of like a replacement level running back. There was excitement for Marlon Mack a month ago, but Dameon Pierce, all the talk is positive about Dameon Pierce. Are you jumping on board, or are you still like letting the truck come by and see if it swings by one more time? And
yeah, even if it swings by another time, I'm going to be like, bye. This is a team that's going to be probably working in a negative game script every single week. So that doesn't say A, much about the run game, and B, how many running backs do they have? 30? No, thank you.
They're not going to
I'm not in. I'm not in.
And I'm not worried about Dare Ngumbuwale, which I just like to say his name because
he'll snipe. No, he's going to be so fantasy annoying. It's going to be awful. Like, so yeah, I am worried about him because it just the touches.
Is Ngumbuwale? Is he like the Ravens running back for like the 4 straight years where it was like, no, you want the 7th running back on the Ravens because it's going to end up being
Oh my god! And you're like, oh, this guy. Oh, that's. I feel like that's what it's going to be. It's that's so gross. I don't care. I want nothing to do with it. When you swing back around, I'm going to be like, nope, not going. Bye.
So the next thing you're not supposed to do in interviewing is lead the question, but I'm totally leading this next one because I want to talk Dallas and Denver's game, but I want to talk about the Cowboys first because everybody's talking about Noah Brown, Fioko, and also like undrafted free agents, USFL guys, and they're like, who's going to fill in? Jalen Turbo, the rookie, which I already know you don't like because he's a rookie and he's a wide receiver.
Double.
Michael Gallup, not ready for week 1. And what have I sat here saying, Lauren? The answer is Dalton Schultz. The answer is Dalton Schultz. The answer is Dalton Schultz. The answer is Dalton freaking Schultz. And everybody's still like, what wide receiver? So I'm leading the question. Do you care about Noah Brown and Fioko and the other guy? Or is it the answer is Dalton freaking Schultz?
Do you even need to ask me this question?
Yeah,
Leading or
just-
not, you already know the answer. The answer is Dalton Schultz. In fact, I drafted him in the Kings Classic. I believe that much in him. I kind of had to reach for him a little bit, but actually not really because it's 14 teams. So I actually was cool with that. But yeah, Dalton Schultz. I don't care. No, I don't care about anything else. Dalton Schultz.
Okay. Then moving on.
Is it leading when you already know what the answer is going to be?
I mean, I guess not, but I want to. Anytime I can talk up some Dalton Schultz, I'm going to. That's all.
Hey, get it.
I will say, shout out Chris Harris. You go listen to the podcast that I did with him yesterday. Please. I am so angry he did this. He goes, I just hope he's not the next Gary Barnage. Like, why did you have to put that on him? Like, don't put that evil on Dalton Schultz.
That was in the atmosphere. He can't take it back now. Oh no. Listen, Harris.
And I like Gary. Gary's a good guy. Speaking of tight ends, there's a lot of tight ends on this show. So hey, maybe that'll swing the algorithm. We're going to get different hits that we expected to. They're going to be coming for the other stepmom Lauren looking for tight ends. And then we're going to have a whole...
Oh, God. Those were two things you should not have put into the same sentence. We're a family show, Jake Ciely.
Don't read the chat transcript. So, on the tight end for the Broncos, Albert Okwuegbunam.
Nope, he went to Mizzou, and I still can't say his last name. So
yeah, so there you go. There was excitement for him about a month ago, and partly because of Tim Patrick, I was like, nope, no interest because he's fourth at best, and probably fifth because when you include Tim Patrick, you got to include the backfield. Okay, Tim Patrick's out. He's still fourth at best because you have the two wide receivers, two running backs. Arguably, KJ Hamler, who everybody's like, you know what I found
That's
funny,
not
Lauren?
arguably.
No.
I'm not arguing with that.
No, here's how I want to set up Hamler. 2 months ago, or even a month ago before Patrick got hurt, everybody's like, oh, yeah, remember KJ Hamler? Remember he's a good web. He might battle Tim Patrick. Like, let's not forget how good Hamler is. And then Patrick gets hurt, and everybody's all of a sudden like, oh, they're going to turn it at tight end. And, but here's the concerning part. You don't like rookies, and yet I agree with you. Like, very rarely a tight end makes rookie noise. We know that, and the fantasy community knows that. But Dolchik's already pushing Big O in practices. Like, do we just immediately go from any hope to zero hope for Big O?
Well, and here's the thing. Big O, my boy Albert, he is the real football good tight end. Does that make sense? As opposed to the fantasy football tight end that we want to see. And I cannot pronounce Dulcich. I can't do that one either. But he looked faster.
Dulcich. Dulcich. I just put an X on it.
I know. I want to put like a V in there for some reason. The Dulcich. I'm kidding.
The Dulcich.
So yeah, he looked faster. Little bit quicker, better hands. And I love Alberto, but I think he's more of the real football tight end. So if you're in a super deep league and you're kind of like forced into it, I mean, I guess, but man, that just, for fantasy, it stinks. But for real football, I think he's going to be able to contribute.
Okay. I did leave out a syllable, by the way, because it's Okwuegbunam. I said Okwuegbunam. I left out the way. So
you did better than I did.
Well, I looked it up. I thought there was 5. I love the phonetic pronunciation of his name.
It is 5.
They have his first name too. It's just AL.
I got Albert. I got that one down.
No. BRT. They left out the E. Like Bert. Like you have to. Like I don't know how to pronounce Bert. Like
we're not gonna say Albert.
I like it. Ooh, Albert.
Albert
Okwuegbunam.
Did we do that right again, or did we mess it up?
No, I left out like 2 syllables in that one.
I was gonna say
Rams Chargers. Nothing really in that. Although there is a question in here from somebody. I saw somebody asking about Cam Akers. But so Cam Akers, soft tissue. Darrell Henderson, soft. What a surprise! Darrell Henderson, soft tissue, dealing with little injuries. But I've gone on and on and on and on and on about Cam Akers being an RB1 because coming off an injury you're not supposed to come back from ever, let alone in 6 months, let alone with the playoffs and Super Bowl on the line, which that's what I keep saying. With the playoffs and the Super Bowl on the line, they said, you're our bell cow, despite having other running backs they could have turned to. That's why I'm on Team Cam Akers, because the team told us they want him to be a bell cow, but he is dealing with an injury again. Where are you on Cam Akers hearing this new news?
Is this really new? I mean, I don't know
It's
if
a
I don't
fresh
know if this
injury.
is
Fresh.
I know, but how much of this is wear and tear from training camp, from, preseason, from, okay, yeah, soft tissue injury, his thighs are sore. Like, whatever. Like, just this is not the panic mode time when it comes to Cam Akers, I believe. So I'm also still team Cam Akers. I loved what he was able to do 2 years ago. I loved what he was able to do last year. I'm not off that train yet. So just because, they're not like trotting him out week 1 preseason, like, oh, we got it, he's done. Nope, Cam Akers is done. Like that is very difficult for me to get on board with. So I'm not worried. Until like it becomes like close to the season, it's like still having an issue, questionable week 1, then I'll be like, oh no. But until we get to that place.
So are you worried about this?
Oh, God.
DeAndre Swift. We all love DeAndre Swift from a talent perspective. And we all saw last year what DeAndre Swift could do. I said Austin Eckler. Jamal Williams came back late in the year, and they turned to Jamal Williams again. Not only that, in the preseason, we're seeing some splits again already. Is DeAndre Swift RB1 going to happen, or are you concerned?
I think it could happen, but he is going to finish as an RB12, like right at the cutoff. I've been that way. I haven't put DeAndre Swift super duper high that a lot of people have, and they're like adding me at Twitter about it. I'm like, sorry, my husband loves the Lions. We follow the Lions quite a bit. And I know how they work, even with Dan Campbell. And that's kind of, again, this is a situation where they're trying to keep their team as healthy as possible for as long as possible. So it makes sense that this is going to be a committee. So if we're talking about a committee, which Jamal Williams has already been a part of in his NFL career, he's very good at being a solid, talented RB2 for real football purposes. Why not continue to lean on that? It stinks for fantasy, and it stinks for everyone who wanted DeAndre Swift to finish as the RB5, but he could finish as an RB1. It's going to be low end, 11 and 12, and Jamal Williams will be so fantasy annoying again, and it's going to be, a heartbreak for everybody.
It could be even more than Jamal Williams, the way that things were set up. So
True.
Jacksonville and Cleveland. Not a rookie, but didn't get to play. For stepping on the field. If this was baseball, Travis Etienne would be a rookie because he didn't play his minimum games.
It's true.
So essentially kind of is a rookie season, but no Urban Meyer. James Robinson coming back from the injury, just like Cam Akers. And his positive spin has been like this. It's been like, oh, James Robinson might not be ready for week 1. And that's, oh my God, James Robinson looks great. He's already out there on the field, and he's going to be he's going to be leading first team carries, and he's going to be the lead bell cow running back. And then it's like, oh God, he's not even practicing this week. And then it's like, oh my God, yeah, but it's going to be a split, but he'll be the lead of the split. It's like all over the map. He doesn't even step on the field in week 1. Not a surprise. Again, Coming back from an injury. ETN, not only just on the field, ETN in preseason week 1, bell cow work. He was getting all of it. Not surprising in the passing game, but all of it, including short yards and stuff like that. So here's the thing, though. Doug Peterson, again, he has gone to bell cow work usage before.
And they lose. And they've lost.
I know. So that's the
with the Eagles.
But when he's had talent like Miles Sanders, he did turn to him and give him that kind of work.
And they lost.
I get that. I know that's where you're going with it. But I would say, even if he gets 60%, do you think that's plausible? 60% lead work, not bell cow, not 70%, but the lead of the backfield, ETN, is there hope for top 20 in that kind of work? Because I think there is.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I don't think that this is going to be a situation where we say he's going to get any more than that, though. I think that's going to be the ceiling for him. And I think that's going to be great for fantasy. That's wonderful fantasy production. But I think James Robinson is going to be a lot more involved than what the naysayers are predicting because of Doug Peterson, because of his love for the committee.
Snoop Connor?
Every once in a while, you'll have one of them are going to be that weird, super great bell cow for one random game. And then everyone's like, see, I told you. And then the very next week it's going to go back to the committee because it's working with the way that the game is going. So no matter what, I would probably quit fantasy football if both those running backs didn't get significant amount of usage. And now that I've said that, I won't, but I'll just say that I am, because I would be shocked if Doug Peterson literally only relied on Travis Etienne and just thought of James Robinson as an afterthought, which is, I think, what people want. And just because you're putting it out into, the atmosphere does not make it real. So I think that they trotted out Travis, I've been saying that a lot. I think they started Travis Etienne and used him as much because they've never really seen him on an NFL field before. So they want to see him in the game. They want to see how the chemistry works with Trevor Lawrence. And they're going to have to figure out, where do they incorporate him in this offense alongside of James Robinson? Why put James Robinson out there? If he's already a little banged up, it's week 1 in the preseason. Who cares? Take a rest, man. Chill.
Okay. Then on the other side of that game, Cleveland Browns, is Dalton Schultz, or it's the other version of this David Njoku? Like, David Njoku,
So much hype for David Njoku.
And he kept having to deal with other tight ends. And we know that Njoku, go back to what I was saying, like the Evan Ingrams of the world, like those kind of, like, we just want him out there being dominant pass catching option who's a matchup problem for safeties and linebackers. And it's basically been cleared mostly out. Harrison Bryant's nice. I like Harrison Bryant, but when you talk about versus David Njoku, and we're trying to figure out Donovan Peoples-Jones and Bell, the rookie, like, but is that the answer here? Is, like, should we be taking more shots on David Njoku in drafts?
You can get him so late. Why not? Though that's kind of the upside pick, right? I don't necessarily know if I would want to rely on him as my tight end unless I'm going to be like streaming the tight end position. So if I get him and he busts, it doesn't really matter. But I don't see why that would be a problem. I loved David Njoku. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I wrote several different articles on him. I have a little fish tank over here. I probably should start turning that on. And there's little fake mechanical fish. One of them is named David Njoku. That's how much I loved his opportunity. But the opportunity did not happen, as much as we thought it was going to, and he became sort of an afterthought. So for me, it's exciting because I do love him so much. I'm glad that he's starting to get this hype again. But if you are going to take him, understand, have caution, just buyer beware on this one. But if he goes late, why not? Why not take a shot? Because if you already have like a really stud tight end and David Njoku blows up, you have an awesome trade opportunity to get some great value back in return at other needy positions as the season goes on. So for me, I don't think there's a downside taking him if it's late enough.
No, I actually think the upside is if it ends up being Brissett for the season, because he's not throwing the ball 20 yards downfield.
Exactly.
He's not going to be throwing to Donovan Peoples-Jones and the others. It's going to be Amari Cooper and David Njoku. So there you go. Plenty of that. Let's get to the Miles Sanders question. So the question was, is he a dead zone running back? One is, yes, he's in that range. People are taking him 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round, and in that range of after you get past the top 20-ish, 22-ish running back, somewhere around that range. Basically, once you start dipping your toe in, so around there, you got J.K. Dobbins, Jacobs, lead guys, Gibson with a question mark. So those are where you start to factor in some David Montgomery, but then you get into the timeshares with question marks, and you get like the Damian Harrises, the Rashad Pennies, Clyde Edwards-Helaire's, Ken Walkers. So that's where Miles Sanders is sitting in that same conversation. It's where it should be. Yep. Miles Sanders, is that? Here's how I'm going to phrase it, though, Lauren. I mean, you might not expect this. Is that even still too high for Miles Sanders? Because again, after week 1, they said, still don't really like him in the passing game. Like, the passing game might be done for him. I like Kenneth Gainwell as a potential breakout in the RB3, Naeem Hines, James White, now that he's retired, but like those kind of run, J.D. McKissick, like an RB3 like that. And I like Gainwell for this reason, because I think Gainwell could also steal some carries from him. I'm legitimately off Miles Sanders.
Will. Like, let's just switch that up. He absolutely will. Boston Scott is still there. Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback. Come on. I've never understood the Miles Sanders hype. Still don't understand it now. I will pass on Miles Sanders every single day of the week, and I'd rather have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I won't like it, but I'd rather have him over Miles Sanders. That's both gross options. I'd take the less grosser one, in my opinion. I'd rather have Rashad Penny. I mean, no. I'm just so, now watch him blow up and have like the absolute greatest career ever, simply because I've been trashing on him all summer long. I've been doing this for 3 years now, and still it hasn't happened. But yeah,
trashing him or pooping,
throwing trash on him. I don't know. I'm combining things. I told you I barely know my own name right now. I personally, yes, there you go. That's exactly what it is. That's right over there. I personally would put Miles Sanders below all of them, but I understand people want to make some arguments for him. So I get it, but I don't agree with it. So in my personal opinion, Miles Sanders goes below all of that. But at the same time, Miles Sanders is dead to me. So I would never draft him anyway. So, no, can't do it.
I probably shouldn't have given Barkley a treat after I freaked her out with the duck noise, because now she's going to Pavlov dogs and think that.
Oh, no. I think she'll be okay.
Think she'll be okay?
She'll be
You're
fine.
gonna chase her around with it so she's scared of it instead. So before we get out of here, just a quick two more things.
It's the noise.
Right? So Arizona's backfield. Are you interested in trying to figure out the backup to James Conner? Because there was talk about, Benjamin, that kind of got buried, and it was with the rookie Keontae Ingram, and then Williams, who they brought in free agency, who has seen Williams before, and there was I actually even had some interest in Williams after they brought him in, but now it's swinging back to Benjamin, who's going to fill the Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds role. So, is the answer just like don't even?
This is one of those really rare circumstances where I am going to very closely watch what happens. I didn't hear what you said, and I'm glad I didn't because I'm sure it wasn't a compliment. But I'm going to very closely watch what happens with this backfield because I don't trust that James Conner's sustainability. I don't trust that he is going to be available week in and week out. And unless I have other really good running backs on my squad, I'm going to want to have that backup. Who is it? I don't know. And as the preseason goes, as we kind of see things fall into place a little bit more, if I have to draft before, we kind of figure that out, whoever he may be, who comes out and hopefully emerges as the backup for James Conner will be someone that I'm picking up off of waivers prior to the season start. I rarely do that. He is the one. I keep saying this, the he that we don't know. This is that one particular situation where if it becomes obvious, then yes, I would do that. But I don't know who it's going to be yet, which is very, very frustrating.
Okay. I was going to say, quick version. I mean, you don't have to go in because you said you don't know. But if you were taking one today, would it be Williams?
I would be Williams. It would be Williams. Okay. I think because he's proven what he can do. They've tried the Benjamin experiment before, and it was okay. Nothing right home about. So
we got to hear on this. Elijah Mitchell. I love Elijah Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I continually say about Kyle Shanahan, I even tweeted this out as a joke about Kyle Shanahan, is the fact that a lot of the Shanahanigans are usually because of injury. It's not usually like, he just found somebody like,
it's not Pete Carolling.
Yes, that's true. However, now Jake's radar is a little bit concerned because the injury has hit. Elijah Mitchell's not going to play until week 1. The door is open for somebody to look good. And that is the one thing that we can have with Shanahan against it. If somebody does look good, he will switch. He sometimes will. Even if Elijah Mitchell's 100%, he might have seen somebody that looked good and just been like, I'm going to roll with the guy that looks good. He will do that. So I'm starting to get concerned now. The follow-up question is it Trey Sermon from last year? Because he's been getting positive praise, and they traded up from last year, and then he was the one that got usurped by Mitchell. Is it Jelf Wilson, who nobody wants anymore? Is it Tyrion Lannister Davis Price? Like, who is it if not Elijah Mitchell that you would take the flyer on?
I'm staying as far away from this backfield as I can.
Okay.
If there is no Elijah Mitchell, then
clear out and then spend 60%.
Then there are no 49er running backs on my team. That's it. The end.
Let me phrase it this way. So you're not, and let's say Elijah Mitchell's out there and nobody so in your league nobody goes for the backups. Tyrion Davis Price,
that's well
Jeff
done,
Wilson. Though. Jeff, all Trace, they're all out there. Let's say they're all out there week 1. One of them steps up just like Elijah Mitchell did last year. We saw what happened. Would you drop 80% of your fab in week 1 to see if because that was the person? You just saw Elijah Mitchell do it last year.
No.
80?
No, I wouldn't do it. Maybe I would. I would. It would depend on what my team looks like. Let me hedge.
70?
I'm going to hedge that.
70?
I would. No, that's so rich. No, because that's week 1, people. No.
If
I
have $0 bids, I might even go 90.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
A top 15 running back just sitting
I'm
there.
just more conservative when it comes to my fab. And I know that there are different, strategies on how to, do your fantasy acquisition budget.
I will say this. Everybody tries to save it for the end of the year. What's more valuable?
Oh, no, mine's middle.
An RB15?
Mine's middle. I will throw money out in the middle of the year.
8 weeks of RB15 or 16 weeks of RB15?
But how do we know that it's really going to be him?
We just saw it.
And
how do you know the guy in the middle of the season?
You could talk me into it. You could talk me into it.
I'm chipping
faith
away.
in it?
I'm chipping away.
You are. I could be talked into it, but I wouldn't. I'm not going to just hands down be like, oh yeah, absolutely, of course I would do that. I'd be like, convince me, because I don't know if I would do that or not.
I was seeing if I had a 5 laying around on my table or someone's going to drop the bag, drop the money. But anyway, you know what you shouldn't have to be convinced of? Look at that. Go to The Athletic. Click on one of the articles. Free deal. Well, free deal. Free. Of course, all deals are free. A very good deal. Look, you spilled over, and now I can't talk anymore.
Yes.
Probably $1 off, or $1. Oh, holy hell! Probably $1 a month for a year. This one's easy. All in code 20% off at FTN. Put in your comments. The show's finally over. Thank God today, and you can potentially win a new T-shirt, Band Kickers T-shirt, as we get close to the season. Meaning we'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Oh my God, we need rest. Goodbye.